Here we are at 1C from our 4.3, 4.4 set of notes. We're asked to factor the following. And just looking at this, we always know that our step one is to look for that greatest common factor. And in just looking at these three terms, we do notice that they all share that common y that we can go ahead and first pull out. So if we pull out a y, we end up then with y squared, because y times y squared gets us the y cubed, plus 3y, because 3 times our 3y would give us the 3y squared. And then lastly, if we factor out the y from here, this 2y, we would just have 2. Because again, the y times 2, we get our 2y. So we've gone ahead and done step one, which is pretty much pulling out that greatest common factor, and then really kicks in our step two. In this case, we do notice that we do have a trinomial, and then we want to try and get it in terms of two binomials. So in doing so, we end up with y. He's still on the outside. He doesn't just magically disappear. In the past, I have seen some students just kind of drop him by accident, so just make sure that he is kind of going down the line with everything else. And then in our two parentheses, we do know that to get that y squared from this this parenthesis right here, to get that y squared, we just have to have y times y to accomplish that. And then just looking at the list for our last c value, 2, we pretty much just know that we have 1 and 2. There's really nothing else that you can evenly factor to get that. So dumping that in, 1 and 2. And because really everything is positive, we know everything has to be positive inside of our factored form. And you can even check just to make certain. So for example, we'll just focus on this part. The y times the y, we get the y squared. The y times our 2 gives us the 2y. When we do the inner 2, we end up with 1 times y, that gives us 1y. And then lastly, 1 times the 2, we do get the positive 2. And again, the 1y and the 2y combine to give us the 3y in the middle, so we're good there. And as a result, this then is our fully factored form. Y times y plus 1 times y plus 2. Again, though, that is example 1C from our 4.3, 4.4 set of notes.